First Sunday in December, and beautiful 35 degrees. Not much of a wind, mostly cloudy. We had mostly sunshine early on. And we're set to go as the Bears have won the toss and will receive. Steve Spagnuolo, the former Giant defensive coordinator, in his first season, very upbeat, as Trent Green indicated. And Lovie Smith, who said, hey, we can end up 9-7. And people may scoff at it, but if they win out, they're 9-7. Set to go as Josh Brown kicks off Danielle Manning. It's a short kick, and it's taken by Rasheed Davis. And Davis, after bobbling the ball, brings it up to midfield. And a big break for the Bears. A 21-yard return.
This backfires on the Rams. Instead of kicking the ball deep to Devin Hester, they decide to kick it short. They nearly get a turnover as he bobbles the ball. Davis bobbles the ball, but he regains control of the ball. And now the Bears are starting on the Rams side of the 50.
And Jay Cutler leading the way at the 49-yard line of the Rams. And Matt Forte with the first play picks up a couple of yards, stopped by James Laurinaitis, the middle linebacker for the Rams. Bears offense are dead last in rushing, and up front Chris Williams moves from right to left tackle, and Orlando Pace won't get a chance to go against his former team.
And Greg Olsen has quickly developed a chemistry with quarterback Jay Cutler, where he leads the team in touchdown receptions with 6.
Second down and 8. 3 wide receivers. Johnny Knox is the third. They run it with Forte. And Forte loses the ball, fumbles outside the 40-yard line, and it was Otagwe who forced it.
This is Pinto Otagwe.
And we'll wait for the official signal.
There's a little pushing and shoving, as you can see the intensity. We told you coming into this that the Rams have not wavered in their intensity, and here they get the fumble and they get the ball back.
And Otagwe forced it, and Otagwe recovers it. And a big break for the Rams.
You see O.J. Otagwe, he's done a good job his entire career with turnovers. And as Forte is struggling for extra yards, he keeps pounding away, and Otagwe, knowing that the rest of his defense is rallying, rips the ball out of there and is able to recover it at the bottom of that pile.
So first a break for the Bears and getting the ball in Ram territory, and now on the turnover, it'll be a first down on the Ram 42. Kyle Boller, the quarterback, playing with the injured Mark Bulger, and completes the pass out to the 46 to Randy McMichael, the tight end, for a gain of 6. So Kyle Boller 0 for 9 in his last 9 starts. Last time he won was back in 07. And looking at the Rams offense, and once again shuffling on the right side of the line, Richie Incognito back after missing 4 games.
And fullback Mike Carney is going to be out today, so look for them to utilize running backs and tight ends in short yardage and goal line situations.
And you're right, Billy Badgema is one of those in there right now in the fullback position. And moving on the line, and the initial signal would be an offsides call. And
offside, number 91 defense, 5-yard penalty. Result of the penalty is a first down.
Pete Morelli, the referee. Tommy Harris, offsides. Let's take a look now at the Bears defense. It's been a real disappointment. Lance Briggs missing his first game this season, and there's a shakeup in the secondary as well, Trent.
Yeah, third-year player Kevin Payne is going to get his second start of the season, but this time it's going to be at strong safety.
Al Afalava is the free safety, first and 10 in Bear territory on the rollout, and the pass incomplete, out of bounds, and it was intended for Donnie Avery. So already both teams have had the ball in the enemy territory, as you see Kyle Boller, who's making his 5th appearance and 4th start of the year. And the Rams with 16 points in the first quarter, last in the league.
And I think that's good what they're doing with Kyle Boller. If you notice, the first play of the game was a quick pass to Randy McMichael to get him involved. The second play was getting him outside the pocket.
Second and 10 at the 47. Steven Jackson's first carry. Doesn't get much, a yard. And it was Nick Roach, the strong side linebacker, making the play.
And we'll have to keep an eye on Steven Jackson. We mentioned the last 2 weeks he hasn't had any practice time because of a sore back that he's been dealing with. He came out today with these cold temperatures. We'll have to keep an eye on whether or not that gets stiff and if he'll be able to carry the load for the entire game.
Now Jackson passing Eric Dickerson, the Hall of Famer, for 1,000 yards. Kenneth Darby is in the game at running back. 3 receivers out of the shotgun goes Bowler. Pressure by Agunlie, and he gets it. Adewale Agunlie, and the first sack of the game will force the Rams to punt and a loss of 8.
Adewale Agunlie is lined up one-on-one with Adam Goldberg. Wally told us coming into this game that he's faced Adam Goldberg before. You can see right there he just beats him around the edge. Kyle Bowler has no chance to get rid of the ball.
And the 6th sack of the season for Agunlie, and Hester going back deep. And what a brief and exciting career with 11 touchdowns as a returner. Donnie Jones will punt for the Rams. Short kick. And Hester will let it bounce, and it helps the Rams, and it'll be down at about the 15-yard line. Back at Soldier Field, Jay Cutler, who has 20 interceptions, leading the league in a career high for him, but has thrown only 3 picks at home. Bears starting from the 15. Play action on first down. And Cutler gets hit as he launches it, and Devin Hester makes the catch. Ball floated out there, and there were 2 defenders, but Hester makes the play, and a big play of 48 yards.
And when you initially see that ball thrown, you're thinking, what's he doing throwing into coverage? The Rams had dropped into a cover 2 or a deep quarters coverage. Jay takes a huge hit there, throws the ball up the field. Devin Hester does a great job of locating the ball. James Butler, number 37, the safety, doesn't locate the ball, and Hester is able to go up and get the ball.
Devin Aromashadu is in the lineup, number 19. And there's the quick pass, but dropped by Aromashadu. And it'll be 2nd down and 10.
With James Butler playing the deep quarter, he's got to be able to locate that ball. Devin Hester does a good job. It's a little bit underthrown. After seeing the hit that Jay Cutler took, you can understand why. Devin Hester goes up, attacks the ball, and is able to bring it in with James Butler not being able to locate it.
And that was the longest pass to Hester this year from Cutler. 2nd down and 10. Looking left and going up top, and Johnny Knox, and a flag is going to go down. Flag going down, and let's see, Quincy Butler was downfield and was never playing the ball and was in front of Knox as the ball hit him.
Pass interference, number 36 of the defense. Automatic first down.
Just with what happened with James Butler, the same thing happens with Quincy Butler. He never turns around to locate the ball, and when the receiver comes back, Knox comes back to try and make a play on the ball. There's the collision and the pass interference. Good job by the offensive line of the Bears, giving Cutler some room and some separation to lay that ball out there.
35-yard play, so it'll be 1st and goal at the 2. And here's Matt Forte trying to drive and gets down to the 1-yard line. James Hall, who has looked good coming off the bench, started last week in Chris Long's position. It'll bring up 2nd and goal.
This has been an area of concern for the Bears. Both teams are struggling in the first quarter in their scoring. Bears going to try pound it in here, get the run game going.
Here's Forte. No signal. Didn't make it. It'll be 3rd and goal. Inching forward, but now it'll be 3rd down.
And that may be an indicator as to why Greg Olsen is leading the team with 6 touchdowns. Down in this red zone, they've got to be able to pound that ball in there. 2 plays in a row now. They've tried running it up the middle. Let's see the kind of message that Lovie Smith is going to send. Do you try a 3rd run here and potentially go with the play action on 4th down? I say they're going to run it.
James Laurinaitis right in the middle, and they're going to run it, and they're going to score it. Matt Forte with a touchdown.
Lovie Smith has talked over and over again about this being a running football team, and we're going to pound the football. We mentioned at the beginning that the Rams have had a hard time stopping the run, and the Bears are looking to get going in the running game. 3 plays in a row from the 1-yard line. The Bears try pounding it in, and on the 3rd try, Forte is able to find that gap, work backside, make the cut off the offensive line's block, and get it in the end zone.
And Robbie Gould with the extra point. Bears scoring here in the first quarter, going 85 yards on 5 plays. And only their 3rd touchdown in the first quarter of this season. We showed you the 48-yard pass to Hester and then the 35-yard gain on the pass interference. So 83 yards on those 2 passes as Gould kicks off. Danny Amendola takes it on the hop at the 10 and brings it out close to the 30-yard line where Josh Bullocks brings him down. Stretching on the side, Steven Jackson has not practiced in the last couple of weeks and came out, was concerned that the colder weather might affect his back. First down, and Steven Jackson with the carry. Jackson brings it out to the 34-yard line. Alex Brown the tackle after a 6-yard pickup.
And that does have to be a concern for the St. Louis Rams. We've touched a couple times already on Steven Jackson's back, but the fact that he does such a good job of yards after first contact, breaking those arm tackles and powering through those runs, carrying guys for extra yardage, that'll be a concern with his back.
1,120 yards coming in. 2nd in the league to the great Chris Johnson of Tennessee, who's having a marvelous season. 2nd down and 4. And on the end around, here's Donnie Avery. He'll get the first down easily. And gets close to midfield and might edge his way. No, he's on his own 49 as Nick Roach finally brings him down. A 15-yard end around.
It's a way you can utilize Donnie Avery's speed, but look at Alex Brown coming flat. That's got to be the outside contain of the linebacker. And Donnie Avery coming outside, he's got 2 linemen. He's got 2 linemen right there. He's got to get outside of that, use his speed, get to the sideline. Don't turn it upside and take the hit.
So the ball at the 49-yard line of the Rams, and here is Steven Jackson trying to find some room up the middle, protecting the ball, and he gets 5 on the play. Boy, it gets tighter when you're unbeaten as the season goes on, doesn't it? The pressure definitely builds. 2nd down and 5 from the 47. Here's Steven Jackson and runs right into Tillman and a couple of other Bears. No gain on the play. So 3rd down coming up. And you're looking at Charles Tillman, who suffered a mild concussion last week against Minnesota, but feels well enough to be out there. And Danielle Manning, who was the starter, and now the nickel back has come into the game.
And on 3rd and long, you see Steven Jackson leaving the game, Kenneth Darby coming in. With the passing situation, you're going to see some more rotation with Steven Jackson's injury.
Not good on 3rd down conversions, and this pass overthrown to Avery. And 4th down coming in, and Bowler taking a shot. Kyle Bowler was sacked 4 times last week.
There is a lot of pressure on Kyle Bowler. The Bears do a good job of bringing the heat up the middle, also off the edge. Kyle's got to set his feet and make that throw. The receiver was open. Donnie Avery was open, but you have to have better protection. Randy McMichael has to step up and do a better job on that blitz.
Devin Hester is back, and Donnie Jones will punt for the 2nd time. Hester calling for the fair catch at the 6. 7-0 in favor of the Bears. Will start from the 6-yard line, and Khalil Bell, the undrafted rookie from UCLA, number 32, who had a 72-yard run against the Eagles on his first carry, falls down, and Bell gets the handoff. And it could have been worse than that. And you see some players, we saw Bowler slipping early. We see Khalil Bell slipping here. This turf was resodded this week, and it was the second time that it was resodded in the last 11 weeks.
And there has been recent discussion here in Chicago about putting an artificial turf into Soldier Field. I don't know. I'm against that. I guess I like Soldier Field on the ground.
Not here, Trent. Second down and 9. And pressure on Cutler. He completes it to Greg Olsen. And a good thing he did, because the Rams were about to stop him as Laurinaitis makes the play on Olsen, and a gain of 1.
Great discipline by the Rams defensive front, knowing that Jay Cutler likes to bootleg and make it away. They stayed in their lanes. They put pressure on him. They came off the slot, and then, as you said, Laurinaitis, Vobora, they were right there for Olsen. Cutler put the ball right on him, but those guys were right there to make the play.
Leading the team in tackles is the rookie. 3rd down and 8. Cutler up the middle, and it's caught by Earl Bennett. Loses the ball, but it goes out of bounds. It'll still be Bears ball. And Otagwe, who forced the fumble earlier, knocks the ball out of the hands of Earl Bennett, but the Bears will keep possession.
Once again, this happened earlier in the game on the pass interference in the end zone. The Rams stacked 9 guys in the box to get Jay Cutler to check out of it. I'm not sure how many more times today the Rams will be making that call to cause confusion, because the first time was a pass interference in the end zone. The second time is a big play to get him inside the 20 at the other end of the field. So they may want to stop disguising and get Jay Cutler to check those big plays.
It'll go as a 71-yard play.
We talked before the break about the Rams stacking so many guys inside the box to get Jay Cutler to check out of the play. They have 8 guys in the box here with 3 receivers. Jay checks out. The Rams decide to drop back into coverage, and they get the big play. That's the second time today they've been able to take advantage of that.
First down at the 20 after the Bears timeout. And Cutler completes the pass to Knox, and it'll be a first down inside the 10. So the rookie Johnny Knox has made some big plays and has become a fan favorite. Picks up 11 yards.
Johnny Knox does a good job in his one-on-one coverage with Ron Bartel. He pushes him up deep, comes back to the football, and Jay Cutler gets flushed out of the pocket. He's very effective on the run. That's something he did a lot of in Denver, and you may see more of today.
First and goal at the 9. 2 tight ends, and Khalil Bell remains the setback. And here's Bell. And Bell runs into Clifton Ryan. And no gain on the play. So the Bears threatening, leading 7-0, and Jay Cutler has hit long passes, 71, 48, and 35 on a pass interference.
Devin Hester is one-on-one right here on the outside. They go to the running game, but matched up with him is Justin King, who is the Rams' 3rd defensive back. He usually is in nickel situations. Right now he's matched up with Devin Hester again, so we'll see if the Rams decide to take that matchup.
Second and goal. Cutler with the pass, and again it hits the back of the defender Ron Bartel on the pass intended for Earl Bennett.
The Rams have got to do a better job of turning around and locating the football. I know we talked about it earlier on the pass interference and also the big play into double coverage that James Butler didn't turn around and were able to make the big play. But once again, Ron Bartel does not turn and locate the ball. Earl Bennett attempts to come back for it. If he comes back a little harder, I think he'll get a pass interference on that play as well.
Very fortunate that one wasn't called there. Third and goal. Here come the Rams, and the pass, and Hester makes it for the touchdown. Devin Hester with a tough catch on a great pass, beating Ron Bartel similar to that previous play, and the Rams score again, or the Bears score once more. One-handed grab.
Great catch by Devin Hester. Good concentration. Gets his one hand on the ball. Is able to bring it in. But that second foot comes down out of bounds.
They're going to challenge.
Be incomplete. 4th down, Chicago.
So they didn't need to challenge it.
Clearly incomplete.
Didn't need to challenge it. Good job by the officiating crew getting together to talk about it and getting the ruling correct on the field.
Now that they pick up the challenge flag. They picked it up, and this is where the officiating was very sharp. Why waste a challenge when the official said, look, he clearly had 1 foot in the end zone, the other out of bounds. So Spagnuolo throws it, and then the official says, thank you very much.
Well, it's a good job by Pete Morelli and his crew working together, discussing things, getting the call right on the field, and saving the Rams either a timeout or one of their challenges. Good job by the crew.
So Robbie Gould will attempt a 27-yard field goal to extend the Bears' lead. And the kick is good, and it's 10-0. Robbie Gould, who has connected on 18 of 21 field goals this year, and Lovie Smith's Bears, with just under 4 minutes to go in the first, leading 10-0, and a crisp start for Chicago.
It has been. They've done a good job of stretching the field. We've seen the deep plays early in the first drive. They had the deep pass that was completed in front of, or right next to James Butler. They had the pass interference in the end zone. On this drive here, we had more big plays up the field. They're doing a good job of getting Jay Cutler outside the pocket with some bootlegs, with some pressure, and him rolling out. They're doing a good job of changing things up. They've done a good job pounding the ball in the end zone with the run game. They haven't been able to crack a big run yet, but you can tell that they've got that mindset that they're going to try running the ball today.
And working on Bartell, to be sure, thus far, and Devin Hester, who very nearly had a touchdown. He's caught a 48-yard pass. As you look at the brain trust, Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator, talking to Kyle Boller. Both coordinators for the Rams. First time they've been coordinators. Ken Flagel, the defensive coordinator, Pat Shurmur, and of course Steve Spagnuolo, first time he's been a head coach. Danny Amendola is back deep for the kick. Returns from the 4. Amendola turns it on. Good return by Amendola. And he gets close to midfield. And it was Danielle Manning bringing him down after a turn of 43.
Good job by Amendola in this return unit. He sets him up by going one direction, cuts back the other direction. Watch Robbie Gould on this play. He looks like he hurts himself once again. The turf being a factor. It looks like he slips. That's the 3rd or 4th time today we've seen a player slip. And after that, he gets up off the field, limping off the field. So we have to keep an eye on that from a kicking standpoint.
So Gould was shaken up, and Amendola bruised a hip in practice on Friday. And here Steven Jackson gets running room on first down. And a good play by Jamar Williams, who is starting in place of Lance Briggs at weak side linebacker. Did start earlier this year on the strong side.
And you know what, Dick? I don't know if you've noticed it, but it seems like Steven Jackson, yes, he is favoring a back injury, but he doesn't seem to have that same burst that he's had throughout the season. Right there, there was an opportunity to really fly into that secondary and cause some punishment. He didn't have that same burst, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
He got 6 on that play, 2nd and 4. Bowler completes the pass. No first down, though. Randy McMichael makes the catch, shy of a first down by a yard. 3rd and 1. Here's Jackson, and he'll get the first down, and Roach trying to bring him down from behind, but Steven Jackson has the first down to the 40-yard line, getting 4 on the play.
He may not have that burst, but he sure has that leg drive. The Bears were able to put 9 defensive players inside the box near the line of scrimmage. Steven Jackson does a good job of cutting back, seeing his legs, seeing his lanes, and there you can see Roach He's on for a ride. He's carried him there for a couple yards to get that first down. Good job by Steven Jackson driving those legs.
On first down, play action. And Bowler has plenty of time. And going deep in traffic. And Donnie Avery was defended by Kevin Payne, among others. So Payne playing strong safety today. And Charles Tillman also back there as the Rams going for the big score.
Donnie Avery is their big speed receiver. They do a good job with the run fake. They're trying to draw the Bears into coverage. Kyle Bowler has a good deal of time. Donnie Avery, this is a tough throw by Kyle Bowler. He throws in. There's a couple of defenders right there. They dive. There's Payne diving in to make the play right at the last minute, preventing the touchdown.
Second down and 10. Here's Jackson. And Jackson getting inside the 35-yard line. Hunter Hillenmeyer brings him down after a pickup of 6. Nearly a minute to go in the first. Good protection for Bowler. But he could not find a receiver, and Donijay finally gets to him. He had the good protection early on, but the Bears did a good job downfield, and there'll be a loss of 7 yards.
They did a good job, but once again, the Bears bring everybody up near the line of scrimmage. Kyle Bowler has a lot of time on the top of the field with Brandon Gibson. He's in one-on-one coverage, and I thought maybe he would get to the backside, but you can tell this is a strong side read because his eyes never went that way the entire time. He was looking front side the entire time. Good job by the Bears down the field and eventually getting pressure on Kyle Bowler.
So Devin Hester back at the 10-yard line, and Donnie Jones trying to keep it inside the 10 if he can. And the Rams do a great job there of getting it at the 1-yard line, and that was Jordan Kent, who suited up for the first time this year, former Seahawk, and he does the job on coverage here. Great job. Matt Forte getting the handoff on first down. Gets a burst up the middle and brings it out too close to the 8-yard line. Otagwe greeting him after a pickup of 6. And that should be the last play, and will be, of the first quarter. Ron Turner, the offensive coordinator for the Bears. Second down and 4, and Forte, nothing there, maybe a yard or so. Will bring up third down inside the 10-yard line. 2-yard pickup coming in. Surprising for the Bears that they have rushed only 35%. Fewest in the NFL. They've been a running team, but today more balanced, Trent.
Well, and that's the thing. When you talk to the coaching staff and you talk to the players, you hear them say, we are a running team. That's our consistency. That's what we do. We're a running team. We're Chicago. But it really hasn't backed up in what the play calling has been. But some of that's dictated by the games, and trying to come from behind, you have to throw the ball.
Third down and 2. And Forte is going to be knocked back by Craig Dahl, the extra defensive back. And a big defensive play by the Rams, a loss of 3, bringing a punting situation.
You can see Craig Dahl in the middle of the screen. He shoots the gap between the center and the guard, that A gap, and gets penetration into the backfield. Is able to wrap up Matt Forte, and the rest of the troops come flying in to finish him off.
So Dahl with a big play, and on fourth down, Brad Maynard will be punting, and Danny Amendola. Now Maynard coming out, and they may have to call a timeout.
They've only got 10 guys.
They only have 10. And that's not a good thing when you're punting from your own end zone.
You waste the timeout punting from your own end zone.
Second timeout called by the Bears. A mix-up. Bears calling a timeout. They didn't have enough men on the field. Khalil Bell saying, my bad, as he comes on now. So we're ready to go on fourth down. Brad Maynard will be kicking. Amendola, flag is down, and Danny Amendola is tackled at the 42-yard line of the Bears.
I think the Rams are going to get called for a block in the back.
During the kick, illegal block in the back. Number 31 of the receiving team, 10-yard penalty. first down.
Justin King, and that flag came in a hurry. So, you know, it's interesting. You said at the outset that the Rams are playing hard, and they have shown that they're playing hard. But they've got to get back in the game, and they need a good possession here so that the game doesn't really get out of hand early, I would think.
Well, especially the effort you're seeing on the defensive side of the ball. They're giving a lot of effort. Yes, the Bears have gotten some big plays, but they are giving effort offensively. Now, this is the third series they've had the ball near midfield, and they haven't been able to get any points. So they've got to have some production with this type of field position.
They're on their own 41. Bowler fakes one way, and this pass incomplete, and Apalava almost picked it off. Jamar Williams defending against Randy McMichael. And the Bears very nearly had a big opportunity.
And that's the hard thing as a quarterback. When you're not able to have the time to take the ball down the field, you can see that the times today that the Rams have gone downfield, Kyle Bowler hasn't had time. So you're relegated to doing three-step drops and quick drops. And when you're done with that, you're forced to be very accurate, and the defenders are right there.
-6 in the passing department for Bowler. Hands off to Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson. Payne had him first, and a gain of 8 yards. Early in the second quarter from Soldier Field in Chicago, Dick Stockton along with Trent Green. Bears leading 10-0, trying to end a 4-game losing streak, and the Rams have dropped 3 in a row as Jackson goes out, replaced by Kenneth Darby. 3rd down and 2. Take the handoff to Darby, and Bowler gets by a defender and is not going to get the first down. It was Ogunleye who missed the chance to knock Bowler back for a big loss, but Anthony Adams came up big.
Kyle Bowler does a good job with his vision upfield. Adewale Ogunleye has got to be able to make that tackle. Bowler does a good job. You have to be careful sticking your head up in there, especially Mark Bulger is already down.
So once again, Donnie Jones has to punt, and Devin Hester, last time was December of '07 that he returned a punt for a touchdown. Hester will let it bounce again. And once again, the Bears are going to have to go a long way as it is down at about the 2-yard line. There you see the average starting field position. Good for the Rams, not good for the Bears. Last 3 have been inside the 10. And they begin from the 2-yard line here, leading 10-0. Play action on first down from the end zone, and this pass nearly intercepted after it was off the hands of Olsen. And it was James Butler who had a shot at it, and that'll bring up 2nd down from the 2.
Jay Cutler's trying to get the ball down the field. They're looking to hit a big play coming out of the end zone like they did earlier in this game. The second receiver, you can see Hester on the outside trying to clear it out, and Olsen on the corner route. Jay Cutler was just a little off. He's lucky that wasn't intercepted on the tip.
2 tight ends in the game. Matt Forte, who scored the Bears touchdown, brings it out to the 5, where Chris Long makes the play, and it'll be 3rd down. Bears coming in 3-2 at home this year, and not only is Jay Cutler played better at home than on the road, he's played better in daytime than he has in the several night games that the Bears have played.
You know, we brought up a lot of those stats to Jay Cutler, and he just kind of gave us a half smile and says, you know, I don't really care home, away, night, day, prime time, not prime time. He's like, I just try and play as best I can.
3rd down and 7. Cutler's pass, incomplete, intended for Knox. And Ron Bartell, who has been worked on by Jay Cutler, has done a good job on that last play, and it'll be 4th down, and Maynard will have to kick again from his own end zone.
And that's a little bit surprising that is who the Bears are choosing to attack over to Ron Bartell. Ron Bartell was a guy that the New Orleans Saints came after in free agency and made an offer to bring him in to be the starting corner, and the Rams were able to secure him and sign him to a long-term deal. So it's surprising that the Bears have decided that's who they're attacking today.
Maynard punting the 2nd time, and Danny Amendola, and it's directional kicking, and it's kicked out of bounds.
You can see the frustration beginning to mount for the St. Louis Rams after the last possession. Pat Shurmur comes over, Richie Incognito and him have words. Rock Gullickson, the strength coach, comes over, tries to console Richie. He knows he's a little volatile. Jason Brown comes in to try and calm things down. They know this is the 4th time they've had good field position. They've got to make something work.
And the deepest penetration has been the Bears 33. Here's Jackson, nowhere to go. And down he goes. He'll lose a couple of yards. Anthony Adams the first to get to him. So Jackson losing 2 yards, and we haven't really seen him in his great NFL running style that we're used to coming into this game.
We mentioned he's a little bit slow on his cuts. He does still have the power, but as far as his quickness in his cuts and his leg drive, it looks a little slowed by his injured back. But you can see there's definitely an effort on the Bears' part after facing Adrian Peterson a week ago to stop the run game this week.
Sam Congato is in the lineup with Jackson. Play fake, and Bowler pass is caught by Amendola. Flag is down, and Amendola close to the first down pending the call as the flag is thrown back at the line of scrimmage. It would be an 11-yard gain pending.
Holding, number 70. Offense, 10-yard penalty still. Second down.
Alex Barron just whipping him around, grabbing him around the shoulders and throwing him down. That's going to get called every time. But as a quarterback and the number of hits that Kyle Bowler has taken today, there's sometimes you got to send that message, and it's good to see your offensive line fighting for you.
Alex Barron leading the NFL in holding penalties. That was his 7th of the season. So instead of nearly a first down, it's 2nd and 22. Ball back at the 46, and on the delay, Steven Jackson running into his own man. And a good play made by Adonijay after a pick of 3. 3rd down and 19, and the pass caught by Brandon Gibson. Loses the ball, and it's picked up by Afalava. Pushed out of bounds is Afalava. Big turnover for the Bears.
Great secondary.
Afalava doing a great job of getting in position, but Brandon Gibson, this is one of the few passes today they've been on target. He gets contact, the ball pops up, Afalava returns it, and this has been the problem the Rams have had all year. They get opportunities, they get good field position, and they have negative plays. They have the holding play that brings it back. Then here they have the turnover that the Bears now take inside the 20 and get ready to score and put some more points on the board.
They hope. 41-yard return by Afalava, but it was Zach Bowman who put the hit on Gibson. So each team has committed a turnover. Rams couldn't take advantage of theirs earlier. And a first down at the 16. Khalil Bell on the pitch. And Bell is taken down hard by Laurinaitis. And a gain of 3 yards.
Well, the Bears coaching staff didn't hold a grudge against Khalil Bell. They got him back in the game after costing him a timeout on that punt out of the end zone a few series ago. But the Rams are going to have to stand firm here and try and hold them to a field goal after their offense gave them up the ball.
2nd and 6. Here's Bell again. And Bell taken down by Chris Long after a gain of 2. So it'll be 3rd down coming up for the Bears. Jay Cutler has completed 4 of 9 for 131 yards. And the 1 touchdown scored by Chicago, who was on a 1-yard run.
Remember, down in this territory, the red zone, Greg Olsen has been a big factor. He leads the team with 6 touchdowns. He's also been a big factor in 3rd and short to medium situations. So look for a matchup here.
In the red zone, they look to Olsen. And Cutler on the rollout. And throws it away as good defensive, and Cutler taking a hit. Leonard Little in his 12th year. And that'll bring up 4th down. So the Rams do stiffen Trent. And coming on is Robbie Gould to try his 2nd field goal.
Very impressive by the Rams defense after the turnover down in their own end zone. The coverage is good. There's nowhere for Cutler to go with this ball. Leonard Little does a good job with his pursuit. Victor Adeanju does a good job with his pursuit, and you can see Cutler lands awkwardly on that right shoulder. That's something we'll have to continue to keep an eye on as well.
28-yard attempt by Gould. And a fake and a shuffle pass to Greg Olsen. And the Rams will take over. So the Bears, feeling good about themselves, leading 10-0, decide on a little trickery, a shuffle pass. Well, the Rams get it back, and interesting that been 2 turnovers, 1 by each team, getting the ball in enemy territory, and neither one of them scoring any points. First down, Rams from the 10. Steven Jackson. Jackson runs into his own man, Jason Brown, gets 3 yards.
And back to the fake field goal, you can see right here coming off the side there, Roach does a good job of seeing Greg Olsen go down the line, and on that shuffle pass, he feels that pressure, sees Olsen escaping, and grabs a hold of his jersey, and he's really the reason that that play didn't have any success, because he sniffed it out right from the beginning. As soon as he saw Olsen leave his assignment, he followed him right down the line.
So Jackson goes out. Darby is in on 2nd down and 7. That's Kenneth Darby. And the pass going to Darby, and will get out of bounds after getting the first down, and a gain of 13 yards.
Good play and good concept by the Rams. You get a matchup on Kenneth Darby against Hillenmeyer. That speed there is not going to be able to hold up. So good misdirection by the Rams, faking one direction, bootlegging out the other, and getting that isolation of Darby on Hillenmeyer out in the flat to get the first down.
Now the Bears have really been a disappointment on defense, and Pat Shermer trying to find the keys today. Hillenmeyer, of course, in for Urlacher. He used a lot of linebacking situations as Jackson is tackled by Jamar Williams after a gain of about a yard. So there've been a lot of shuffling going on, Trent, in the linebacking position. Williams, of course, for Lance Briggs, missing his first game of the season and only the 3rd game in 7 seasons. Jackson not happy about something maybe not being in there. There's the slant, and Brandon Gibson makes the catch, and it should be enough for the first down. And the rookie from Washington State, as Jackson comes back in the game. And it will be a first down for the Rams.
Nice catch by Brandon Gibson coming back after his turnover the previous series. Kyle Boller comes right back to him. Brandon Gibson does a nice job of sliding while making that catch and getting the first down.
Jackson averaging 4.7 yards per rush. He's going to help his yardage on this play, and he gets the first down as he just crashes through Payne and Zach Bowman to get 11 yards, and the 2nd straight first down for the Rams.
Well, it's interesting the effectiveness the Rams are having now after starting with poor field position, whereas all day they've been around midfield, but this is exactly what they've needed. Whether they go down and get points or not, they've been able to get out of their own end zone, get the ball near midfield. Let's see if they can convert it into some points.
Billy Badgema with a good block. Remember, they don't have the fullback today, so here is Jackson with a solid run, getting into Bear territory to the 48. Kevin Payne makes the play after a 4-yard pickup. As Trent Green mentioned earlier, Mike Carney inactive for the 2nd straight week, and so tight ends will have to fill the bill as blocking backs. And there you see the Rams today. Only 92 yards, 24 in the air, and 1 for 6 on 3rd downs. But so far, this has been their best offensive sequence. 2nd and 6. Jackson comes out to the left slot. Fake to him, and the quick to Avery. And Avery reaches forward and has enough for the first down, with Tillman trying to prevent it, and a 6-yard gain. And another first down, and Incognito, who had a sprained foot, missing the last 4 games, slow getting up.
And he's actually going out of the game. He's calling for Mark Setterstrom to come in and relieve him. Richie has missed the last 4 games because of a knee injury. He doesn't look to be hobbling or limping or anything. It just depends on what happened. I'm not sure.
Well, anytime you have to move the offensive line around, as you well know, they've had to do it again this week. It's tough for the quarterback. Bowler handing off to Jackson, and Steven Jackson getting to the 40, where Jamar Williams makes the play, and a gain of 2 with 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half.
this has been a very effective drive for the Rams. If you think about where they started, the field position they have, they've done a good job of running the ball. Steven Jackson pounding it. He's had one run where he got around 8 or 10 yards, but most of the time it's been controlled passing and pounding the ball up the middle at 4, 5, 6 yards a crack.
And the Rams still have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. 2nd and 8. Bowler. And it's caught by Gibson. Brandon Gibson still on his feet. And a nimble job done by Gibson to get inside the 20-yard line. A 21-yard pick up with Afalava finally putting him away. But the Rams are threatening here, down by 10-0.
Well, the thing that's even more impressive about Brandon Gibson on this play, yes, he comes back, he slips at the top of it, but to catch the ball on your knees, get up off the ground and gain another 10 to 15 yards, that tells you the type of separation he had in running that route.
You like receivers who would get on their knees and say, throw it to me now, right?
Especially if they were in the end zone.
Yeah, of course. Comes out to the left, defended by Bowman. First down, and here's Jackson with a hole. Steven Jackson inside the 10. And a very impressive drive by the Rams that started at about the 10-yard line. 13 yards for Steven Jackson.
And Steven Jackson may not have that explosive pop because of the soreness in his back, but the offensive line, Billy Badgham was in at fullback. We already mentioned they're going to be rotating different players in that spot. You can't arm tackle Steven Jackson. He keeps driving, Randy McMichael getting fired up, number 84 there. He's getting fired up. They want to get this ball in the end zone.
Jackson 34 yards on this drive, 72 already in the game. 1st and goal. And they go to Jackson again, and Jackson will be tackled by Jamar Williams. First 5 drives, total 55 yards for the Rams. This one is 85 so far. 2nd and goal from the 4. 2-minute warning. And Steven Jackson picking up a yard. Nick Roach is there to make the tackle. Eagles out to a quick start over the Falcons, and Cincinnati, after trailing early, leading 14-7. And coming out of the game is Nick Roach.
It's interesting the Rams decide to take out 2 of their tight ends and bring in 3 wide receivers to spread things out down here.
First time on the drive that the Rams have faced a 3rd down. They're on the 3. Bowler flips it and incomplete. Try to get it to Steven Jackson, who dropped it right away. So 4th down coming up, and the Rams will try for the field goal here.
This is a form of a shuffle pass. A good job by Alex Brown sniffing this out. Instead of shuffling it underhand, Steven Jackson cuts inside Alex Brown, which sometimes you'll see the quarterback flip that underhand or shovel that underhand. But Alex Brown does a good job of sensing that from Steven Jackson and able to break it up.
20-yard attempt coming up for Josh Brown, and the kick is good. So the Bears gave the Rams the chance when they eschewed a field goal and went for it on 4th down on a fake play, and the Rams come down with a great opportunity to get a touchdown, but they'll take the points, and it's 10-3. This is what set it really up for the Rams, Trent.
Yeah, the Bears decided to go for the fake field goal. Instead of taking the 13-0 lead, they decided to go for the fake field goal, get the big punch. David Roach does a good job of following Olsen down the line, prevents it. And the Rams, after having great field position, you mentioned, Dick, they had great field position all day. They decide this time at their 15, they might as well go 85 yards and get a field goal. So very timely for the Rams on offense.
You know, we talked about the resodding of the turf. They actually did have artificial turf here once, and it was torn up. And don't know if they'll ever go back to it again. There is a scoring drive, and it's stalled at the end. So it's a 10-3 game, and Danielle Manning on the return for Chicago. Manning gets a few extra yards after the initial contact and brings it out close to the 35-yard line. And Jay Cutler comes back. The Bears, having to use 2 early timeouts, have only 1 remaining.
They've got plenty of time. They've got 1 minute and 6 seconds to 1 timeout, like you mentioned, Dick. You only need about 25, 30 yards to get into makeable field goal range. So don't look for the Bears to sit on the ball. They're going to stretch the field and try and get points before the half.
As Jay Cutler would prefer. From the 33, bobbled, and Cutler will go down. And a loss.
Well, that just changed. That just changed. If they were going to have any chance of trying to score before the half, Jay Cutler's got to throw that ball away to stop the clock.
Does he have a problem with his finger? He's holding on to it.
You know, you start looking at that last play, you see he has a hard time hanging on to the ball. And the play before when Leonard Little would smash him into the ground, and we thought maybe he had a shoulder injury, but.
2nd and 16, Matt Forte will try to run the ball and brings it out beyond the 30-yard line. So they still need about 12 yards. Craig Dahl making the tackle, a 5-yard pickup, and doesn't look like the Bears are going to take any chances here with the final seconds.
No, it's and that's why you hear the Boo Birds coming out here at Soldier Field, because there was over a minute left. You had the one timeout. There was plenty of time to try and make something happen. Well, I continue to see the Bears trying to run the ball. They have been trying this half. They have a lot of attempts, but they're only averaging about 2 yards a carry. So they've got to continue to try running the ball. They've been effective with the passing game, getting the ball down the field. They haven't completed a high percentage. Jay Cutler doesn't have any turnovers, so that's a good thing. But they are getting big plays in the passing game. And on the Rams side of the ball, Steven Jackson has really impressed me. Here's a guy who hasn't practiced the last couple of weeks. He's running the ball, running hard, but we'll have to see how that back holds up in the second half.
And of course, the Rams have been in games. Lovie Smith had mentioned that this team in the last 4, they beat the Lions and lost their last 3, but they have been in the contests. And Danny Amendola on the return gets to the 21-yard line. Last week in the loss to the Seahawks, the Rams were down 14-10 at the half and 17-10 in the third quarter, so they were in the game for sure. Let's see how the offense responds.
And that's what we talked about in the opening. This team has kept their fight. They've maintained that fight throughout the entire season. They're in every ball game, like Coach Lovie Smith said. That's the thing that's really impressed him, is the fight that this team has. And as you can see, Kyle Boller had an effective first half, not a big first half, but an effective first half managing the game.
Starting from the 21, Bajema is the fullback in front of Jackson, who gets the handoff. Trying to pick his way to look for an opening, none there.
When I would say based off that play, there was definitely some talk in the locker room at halftime among the Chicago Bears to gang tackle Steven Jackson, because you could see the number of Bear jerseys smothering Steven Jackson as he approached the line of scrimmage.
And of course the Rams, if they're going to have any success offensively with the pass, they're going to have to run Jackson, even if he doesn't get that many yards.
And I think it's going to be effective for the Rams to be able to change up as well. Get Kenneth Darby in there. He's a change of speed guy that really brings a different dimension to the running game.
2nd and 9. Play action, Kyle Boller toward the sideline, and the pass is incomplete, and it was Avery, the intended receiver.
This is the 3rd or 4th time today that we've seen a bootleg by the St. Louis Rams, trying to get Kyle Boller outside the pocket. Donnie Avery does a good job of hanging on to the ball. He's just not able to get his feet in bounds. You can see Randy McMichael with Adewale and Goulet maybe got away with a little bit of hold there. You can see both of them looking back to the official to see if it was called.
3rd down and 9. Gatto and Darby are in the backfield with Boller. And Boller's quick pass incomplete off the hands of Amendola. And it'll be 4th down. An opportunity for a catch. The pass was there.
Yeah, you can't blame that on Kyle Boller. He does a good job securing the ball, putting the ball in a good spot. When the Bears are bringing pressure on 3rd down, you have a lot of one-on-one matchups out on the field. He puts that ball in a great location for Danny Amendola to make the catch and get the 1st down. Unfortunately, he's not able to squeeze it, so now they've got to punt it away.
To Devin Hester. And Donnie Jones will be punting it. So the Rams can't do anything on their first possession, and a great punt by Jones, sending Hester back to his 25. Giving ground again and going down. He gave about 10 yards. And O.J. Atogwe injured his shoulder on the last play of the first half and is out. And Craig Dahl, number 43, has replaced him at free safety. 1st down at the 23 for the Bears. And a handoff end around to Hester. And he's going to be put down by Paris Lennon. Lennon, who signed in week 2 has played with the Lions, Packers, and now the Rams. And shaken up is Devin Hester, limping as he comes to the sideline. There'll be a loss of 4 on this play.
I like what the Bears are trying to do with some misdirection, get some speed out on the edge. Paris Lennon, great discipline on his part to recognize that, get outside, do not let Devin Hester get outside. He rips the ball out of there. Devin Hester gets the ball back, but you can see he comes limping off the field.
Devin Aroma should do. Number 19 has replaced him. 2nd down and 14, and the screen pass to Matt Forte. And a good play made by Darrell Scott, rookie from Clemson, as they work on Hester on the sideline.
And I know Ron Turner has taken some heat with his play calling here in Chicago, but I think he's done a good job with these first couple of plays. Change things up, get the around play to Hester, come off with a play action, get a little screen, try and get it going. They didn't have the effectiveness as far as yards are concerned, but you're changing things up from what you did in the first half.
3rd down and 8. And Cutler is going to go down. Chris Long fought off the blocker and came in for the sack. The second time that Cutler has been sacked, and loses 10 on this play.
We talked about Chris Williams moving from the right tackle spot over to the left tackle spot with Orlando Pace being out this game, and Chris Long just beats him right from the snap all the way around the corner. Jay Cutler has no chance. Long chases him down from behind.
The 4th sack of the year for Chris Long. 2nd overall pick last year. And now Brad Maynard in to kick from inside the 5. And Danny Amendola is back deep and directional kicking. And Amendola picks it up on the hop. On the first series, Devin Hester limping off the field, and they're still working on him as the Rams will start in Bear territory for the 5th time in the game. And Richie Incognito, who is shaken up, back in at right guard for St. Louis. 1st down, and here is Jackson. Not much there. Goes down. No gain on the play. Maybe it lost a half a yard.
We talked with Coach Steve Spagnuolo. He talked about staying the course, staying sane, working hard, sticking together. I think the frustrating thing for Ram fans right now is coming out in the second half, you're looking for something exciting, some explosiveness from an offensive standpoint, and they really do the same thing. Their first series, they go 3 and out, they run the ball, they do a bootleg, and they throw a slant, which is what they did the first half. Here we go again on 1st down with Jackson up the middle. So let's see if they can change things up a little bit offensively.
And it's an end around Amendola. Danny Amendola gets about 8 yards, and Tillman in the open field makes a good play. And maybe you have to pass a little bit to set up the run for Jackson, the opposite for the Bears maybe.
Good job by Tillman in the open field, and I think that's one of those things.
Face mask, number 33 of the defense, 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
So add on to this game of 7.
We talk about surprising the Bears on defense. Running around to Danny Amendola could be the surprise they were looking for. Normally the arounds and those stretch and reverse plays are to Donnie Avery because of his speed. With Amendola out there in the open field, you know, he is a kick return, punt return guy. He has shiftiness out in the open field and was able to gain some extra yards, and the Rams are in position.
So Tillman on the face mask, and the Rams have the ball on the Bears 26. 1st down, and here's Jackson, and Jackson is hit by Afalava immediately before he can get on track. So Al Afalava, the rookie from Oregon State, with a big play on 1st down.
And they've clearly talked to the Bears about wrapping up at halftime. The gang tackling that's going on with Steven Jackson, and right there Afalava comes in. He puts a big hit on Steven Jackson, but he really wraps up and doesn't allow Steven to get those big powerful legs driving through.
Jackson has gained 76 yards, but his average has been a little more than 3.5 per carry. 2nd and 10. Bowler flipped it out, then it's Jackson, and Jackson is not going to get away from Nick Roach. Big play, so 2 aggressive plays by the Bears defense. That was a 3-yard loss, and it'll be 3rd and long.
And I tend to be an offensive guy, Dick, so I talk about the aggressiveness on the offensive side, and they just haven't seen it. This is 3 times in a row now this second half. We're on first down. You run Steven Jackson up the middle. I know you're looking up the field there. You hit your check down, Steven Jackson on the swing. Good recovery by the Bears defense to come up and make that tackle. But I'd like to see a little more creativity with this Rams offense, considering they haven't had much effectiveness.
3rd and 14. Remember, the backup quarterback, Kyle Bowler, is in there. And Bowler's pass, and it goes to Darby. Not going to get anywhere. And down he goes at the 31-yard line. And Jamar Williams ultimately makes the play. But you're absolutely right. They are not getting downfield at all, are the Rams, even in an attempted situation. And the Bears were able to stop the Rams, who had some good momentum going on offense. And now Josh Brown is coming in to try a field goal.
The Rams have got to be frustrated that all day long they've had good field position. Their one scoring drive, they had to go the length of the field to get points. With good field position again.
48-yard try, and the kick is good. Josh Brown. Welcome back to Soldier Field in Chicago. Dick Stockton and Trent Green. That's the scoring drive that was capped by Josh Brown's 48-yard field goal. But 4 of those plays were negative or 0. Johnny Knox, the rookie, back deep for Chicago, and it's Knox at the 5. Johnny Knox. Big return, and what a fake. Penalty flag is down, but a spectacular return by Knox. The flag is thrown up at the 35-yard line of the Bears. 68 yards pending the penalty.
During the return, holding number 29 of the receiving team, 10-yard penalty. First down.
And that's going to nullify a huge and spectacular gain. Adrian Peterson holding on the return.
And even though Johnny Knox gets a big return here, makes Justin King miss, good hustle by the Rams. Kenneth Darby coming all the way back down the field to make the tackle. It's brought back, but you don't know. Maybe this will be the excitement that this fans need, this team needs. You know, that first series, 3 and out. Now they've got something going, a little momentum. It was brought back because of penalty.
First down at the 24. Here's Matt Forte. And Forte, and nearly a loose ball, gets about 5.5 yards on the play. Devin Aromashadu has come in to replace the injured Devin Hester. So the first 3 drives, 141 yards. And the last drive, 6 drives, only 12. Calf injury for Hester, questionable as to his return. 2nd and 4, here's Forte. And nothing doing. James Butler got him quickly, the strong safety. So 3 yards on that play. So Hester shaken up. And a big force of the Bears offense. And now opposite to what the Rams are doing. They're not running the ball, Chicago, to set up Cutler's passing abilities. The Bears right now have only 32 rushing yards, an average of 2 yards a carry.
These last 2 plays, though, they pounded the ball up the middle. They've put themselves into a manageable 3rd down here on 3rd and short.
And here's Forte. First down. Broke a couple of tackles, and he gets to the 40. And Paris Lennon missed him, and Laurinaitis made the play, but a first down Chicago. So they didn't go to the run their first possession, but they have here in the second.
Well, that's 3 consecutive plays. You can see Ali's over on this side. He's pulling. He comes over. He's able to seal Lennon, and Forte gets to the second level. Laurinaitis comes up and puts the hit on. But great block to free Forte to get the first down. 3 run plays in a row for the Bears.
That was 7 yards, and Cutler on first down, and it's caught by Knox. And Knox is ridden out of bounds by Quincy Butler. Short of midfield. They got about 7.5 yards on that play. And the word on Devin Hester is he is out of the game. He will not return after suffering a calf injury. So it's going to be up to Johnny Knox. Devin Aromashadu will get a chance, and Earl Bennett, who caught one for 71 yards early in the game. 2nd down and 3. Pitch to Forte. And brought down by Paris Lennon, but close to the 1st down, which he had to get in midfield. It'll be a 2-yard pickup. And a flag goes down after the play.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, number 53 of the defense. 15-yard penalty on the 1st down.
Big penalty against the Rams, and it's on Paris Lennon.
The league has really made a point for player safety, eliminating the horse collar tackle. You can see what can happen from an injury of a player standpoint. Their legs get pinned underneath behind them. The defender can fall on the back of their legs, and Roy Williams is the one that put that penalty in place years ago.
And it includes the jersey. You don't have to just get it inside, as Khalil Bell on the carry, tackled by James Butler from behind and gets inside the 30-yard line. A 7-yard gain on 1st down after the penalty. Matt Forte is out of the game right now.
This is exactly what Lovie Smith had talked to us about. He wants the image of this team to be a run team, and on this drive there's really only been the one short pass play, and the rest they've been pounding away at this Rams front 7.
Khalil Bell, the running back, and he gets the handoff. 1st down, and wrestled down by Laurinaitis. So Khalil Bell, the UCLA rookie running back, and getting a 1st down to the 21-yard line. Call it the 22 of the Rams. Here's Bell with the run, and he is in there because Matt Forte, not sure whether he was shaken up or not, but there he is. And the Bears came in 28th in the league in rushing, have 52 right now. This is the 8th play of the drive. 1st down at the 22. Pitch to Bell, and runs right into David Bobora.
And what may affect the running game for the Bears now, you mentioned Forte coming out of the game, but Jason McKee, the fullback for the Bears, limped off the field after the last play. So on that play they went with 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and they weren't as effective in the run game as they have been prior in this drive.
And like Carney out for the Rams, McKee the only fullback dressed for the Bears. 2nd and 9. So Hester, Forte, and McKee all shaken up. Hester gone for the day. On 2nd down and 9. Cutler ad-libbing, trying to get it to Knox. Incomplete, and a flag. Flag goes down. Penalty marker in the backfield. Pete Morelli.
Illegal use of hands to the face, and 24 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
So penalties on the defensive side really hurting the Rams on this drive. It's on Ron Bartel, and it'll be an automatic 1st down Chicago.
Well, instead of this being a 3rd and 10, now all of a sudden the Bears have 1st down in the red zone. Ron Bartel is a guy that the Bears have been picking on all day. We made a point of that in the 1st half, and once again he comes up with a negative play, getting a 1st down. Bartel goes up top on this play.
And Jason McKee back in at fullback in front of Khalil Bell. 1st down, and here is Bell off the left side. Khalil Bell, and close to the 1st down, and following Roberto Garza, the right guard, blocking in front of him, and a gain of 9 yards. And the Bears leading by 4 in this game, threatening here in this 3rd quarter.
You can see the guards come around, they lead it outside for the back. He does a counter step and then comes to the outside, follows his blockers. Those guys I believe that's the Bears' biggest run of the day. It seems like they've been pounding them up 3, 4, 5 yards, but on that play they're able to pound out 8 yards.
I think you're right. 2nd and 1. Here's Bell. And the second effort for Bell could get him that 1st down as we wind close to 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter.
That's not a very effective red zone today. You look at what's happened for the Bears. This is their 4th time down in there, settling for a touchdown and a field goal. And of course, they went for that one fake field goal that the Rams sniffed out and were able to stop.
Khalil Bell comes off the field, and Matt Forte, apparently healthy, has come back into the game, measuring for the first down and getting it. So the Bears will have a 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. The only touchdown in the game came in the 1st quarter when Matt Forte went over from a yard out to cap an 85-yard drive on the 2nd possession for Lovie Smith's Bears.
And McKee's back in the game as well, so look for them to pound it up in there. They've got their 2 running backs that both went out of the game earlier in this drive, are now back in with a 1st and goal.
And 2 tight ends with Olsen and Kellen Davis, number 87. 11th play coming up. Forte. And Forte is hit by Larry Grant. 3 yards on that play. So the Bears threw it, didn't run it the first possession, but this was the 9th running play on this drive, and it's 2nd and goal.
They take one of those big tight ends out of the game, bring in a couple of more wide receivers. I tend to think this is a disguise. They want the Rams to think that they're going to throw the ball, but based on what we've seen today and what the Rams are trying, or what the Bears are trying to establish in the red zone, I think they're going to pound it in there one more time.
2nd and goal from the 3. Here's Matt Forte, and he's not going to go anywhere. And the Rams thinking the same thing. They weren't fooled by the receivers being in there and Clifton Ryan leading the charge.
Good push up front by the Rams defensive line. They get penetration. The linebackers come into the 2nd level. Nice job by Cliff Ryan. He's initially knocked to the ground. He keeps working, gets himself up. Olin Kreutz has no effectiveness on him. Cliff Ryan bursts right through that, gets off the ground, and penetrates the backfield to make the tackle.
So it's 3rd and goal from the 3. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the left side. And a touchdown pass to Earl Bennett. That time they showed pass and they passed the ball, and open in the end zone was Earl Bennett. And Jay Cutler with his first touchdown toss of the game. And the Bears can open up an 11-point lead if they make good on the conversion. Here is Robbie Gould. And the kick is good. Jay Cutler only threw 2 passes. One of them was for the touchdown.
You have a combination route here. Goes inside, goes outside to cause confusion. It's really not that complicated. Jay Cutler takes a couple steps, hits him right in the front of the end zone.
And the kickoff to the goal line. Amendola returning. And Amendola brings it out. Bears leading 17-6, and the Rams starting from the 25. Steven Jackson has gained 76 yards on 21 carries. Fake to Jackson. Kyle Boller being rushed by Agunlier. Stays on his feet and wisely throws it away. Well, this week, Brian Urlacher said, we've lost our running identity. And Jay Cutler said, I agree. Well, what's the play selection so far? Bears have run 26 times, past 18. Always listen to your veteran middle linebacker.
And Agunlier is down on the far side of the field. He had contained again and was able to put Boller in a tough position, but Boller was able to escape, and Adewale Agunlier is down.
Agunlier has been a standard Bear 9 years from a familiar school, University of Indiana, to one of us.
Yes. Yes, there's a few of us Hoosiers that played in the NFL, and it's good to see Adewale having success, along with a few other Hoosiers that are sprinkled around the league. That's right.
There you saw Urlacher who is going to be incredibly frustrating for him. He was injured in week 1 with the wrist injury that sidelined him for the year. Mark Anderson has replaced Aguilio. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Rams. Here's Jackson. Well, Vick is happy today. He has a touchdown, and the Eagles are leading 20-0. And Donovan McNabb with an impressive game. 3rd down and 10. Here comes pressure on Bowler. Bowler's pass up the middle, nearly intercepted by Jamar Williams, and it was intended for Brandon Gibson. So 4th down coming up, and that was one of the longer extended passes we've seen from the Rams today, Trent.
On the 3rd and 10, they need to get the ball up the field. Kyle Bowler tries squeezing it between the 4 defenders. You can see him trying to place the ball here. Really not much of a chance to get that ball through there. They put themselves in tough position, though. When you get 3rd and long all the time, you have to find ways to force the ball up the field just to get the 1st down.
Donnie Jones will punt again. Johnny Knox returning. Good punt by Jones, sending Knox back to the 20. Bobbles it momentarily and is going to go down there. Good coverage today on the Rams punting teams. Daniel Fells that time. Waning seconds of the 3rd quarter. And there you see the Bears coming alive in this quarter. On the ground. From the 19, Matt Forte. Bursts outside and might have had a lot more if it weren't for David Vobora. Soldier Field, Chicago. Dick Stockton along with Trent Green. We begin the 4th quarter. 2nd down and 6 for the Bears. Cutler. Incomplete. And a good defensive play by Vobora on Jason McKee.
That was a little surprising to me, knowing how Jay Cutler likes to stretch the field. He has a crossing route underneath with the running back, and instead of taking a chance up the field with a cover 2 look with 2 double deep safeties, he has Greg Olsen one-on-one down the middle of the field with James Laurinaitis, and instead takes the crossing route to McKee, and the Rams were able to knock it away.
Forte with 49 yards and a touchdown. Leading rusher, 3rd down and 6. And the quick out there to Knox. And Knox not going to get away. Good pursuit by the Rams out on the perimeter, led by Justin King. 4th down coming up and a loss of 3.
Very good pursuit by the Rams defense. And you talked about the last series that the Bears had. They ran the ball very effectively. Only threw the ball 2 times. Yes, one of them was a touchdown pass that Jay Cutler hit Bennett on in the end zone. But on this series, they came out on 1st down, ran the ball, knocked it out for 4 yards, and then they went pass, pass, and that's why you heard the response of the crowd.
Bear fans really disappointed in the offense. They got the big-time passer, but a lot of turnovers in the red zone by Cutler. Not today, though, as Amendola fields this punt at the 27. Getting ahead of steam as Amendola into Bear territory, and it's Brad Maynard who undercuts him. The punter making the play. And the Rams starting in Bear territory. Been there a lot today. Steven Jackson with a good gain on 1st down and should have a 1st down very close to the sticks as Jamar Williams makes the tackle.
Well, as we were discussing at the commercial break, are the Rams going to come out and give us a play action fake on 1st down and kind of surprise everybody with a throw down the field, or are they going to pound it up the middle with Jackson again? That time they decided to pound it up the middle, and Steven carried everybody for 9 yards.
2nd down and 1. And they go to Jackson again. And he'll have the 1st down. Harrison making the play. You know, this is the way that the old-time Bears used to play. They never would extend the field, and a lot of the Bear fans were upset that, you know, we never take a shot.
Well, I think the Bear fans can relate to what the offense is doing for the St. Louis Rams. This is really what we're seeing out of them today, and I think if you are a Ram fan, you're wondering at some point in time you've got to take a shot up the field. because the Bears have been stacking their defense close to the line of scrimmage to try and stop the run. You have to take a shot one-on-one up the field.
Ball on the 31 of the Bears, and there is a screen pass to Jackson. And a flag goes down as Steven Jackson is tackled at the 25-yard line by Jamar Williams.
Illegal block in the back. Number 60 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's the center, Jason Brown.
Right here, you'll see the block in the back on Hillenmeyer. Brown shoving Hillenmeyer in the back and talking with Kyle Bowler, talking with Randy McMichael, talking with Steve Spagnuolo. This is what has hurt them in the red zone. They get down there, but they get penalties to bounce them back every time, or sacks.
We're talking to a lot of guys. First down and 17, and they're back on the 38-yard line, and here's Jackson again, and slowed up by Anthony Adams until teammates come around, a gain of only 2 yards. So this has been a stalled offense. I mean, the penalties have hurt the Rams. They don't have that many, just 5, but they've really been bad timing penalties on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to see the numbers today as far as first down play calls. How many times it's just been a straight run to Steven Jackson? How many times have they mixed it up? It almost appears that every first down it's going to be a run to Steven Jackson.
Adewale Ogunleye back in at defensive end for Chicago. Pass to Donnie Avery, but the Bears are right there. They're not pushing it down the field, is what Trent is alluding to, and they're going out in the flat, and Donijay with good coverage there, and the gain was only 4. Well, this is it. First down play selection. 15 rush, 6 pass.
Well, it seems like they've gotten into a rut a little bit with that play calling selection, and that play there, you get the ball out to Donnie Avery in the open field. You try and make something happen. I like that call. Get the ball in a fast guy's hands and see if he can make something happen.
3rd and 11. And they run it to Steven Jackson, but the Bears, sensing it, are right there. And Jamar Williams leading the way. So the Rams are playing almost as if they want to keep the game close and not aggressively want to try to score. They haven't really looked that way today.
A draw on 3rd and 11 from the 33-yard line. They're conceding the fact that they're going to go for a field goal.
And it's a long one. Josh Brown, 50-yard attempt, connected from 48 yards in the 3rd quarter. And Josh Brown with the kick. It's good. Josh Brown with his 50-yard field goal, 4th time he's kicked one from 50 this year, and the 23rd of his career. And Steven Jackson, who has 89 yards, and the Bears are laying in wait for him. So it's 17-9. It's a 1-score game right now as Josh Brown kicks off Danielle Manning, a yard in the end zone, and slides down at the 23. First down. Khalil Bell is coming in running back, and Bell going outside is taken down by James Butler. 2nd down and 7, and here is Bell, and he is tackled immediately by James Butler. And of course, with the Eagles leading the Falcons handily, 27-0 right now. The Giants coming in 1 game behind Philadelphia. So in order to keep pace, a game behind the Eagles, they need a victory. Otherwise, they're 2 behind. If the Giants don't beat Dallas today, they'll be 6-6, and there'll be a lot of questions about their wild card possibilities. 3rd down and 6 coming up. Khalil Bell carried 11 times for 35 yards. This is a passing down, incomplete to Bennett. Coverage by Justin King. Crowd yelling for a hold. None coming, so it's 4th down, and Jay Cutler is enraged over the no call.
Cutler's enraged, Bennett's looking for the flag, and Justin King quietly gets up off the field and kind of peeks around to see if there's a flag. He realizes that he had Earl Bennett around the feet pretty early before that ball came in. He's grabbing Earl Bennett's leg before that ball is clearly there, and but there's no call, so no foul.
Brad Maynard. Amendola covers up at the 23. From the 24, Steven Jackson going outside on first down, gets a first down close to midfield and run out of bounds by Kevin Payne. And a gain of 23 yards, the longest run from scrimmage for Steven Jackson today.
We're gonna come back to the third down play where Jay Cutler was so hot, and there's two penalties that actually take place on this play. You can either call an illegal bump after 5 yards. You'll see Justin King grab Earl Bennett around the waist, so you can get illegal contact after 5 yards. You also can call, because the ball was in the air, you could call pass interference. So there was one of two calls that could have been called on that play, and neither one was.
First down at the 47 of St. Louis. Jackson again. Picks up a yard. Jamar Williams on the play. Well, the Rams certainly have had their opportunities in field position. They have had 7 possessions inside Bears territory and have managed just 3 field goals out of it. And there you see Bowler, 11 for 20. Not much yardage there. Steven Jackson with 112 goes over 100 again for the 7th time this year. Second down and 9. And the quick to Amendola, and right there to make the play was Nick Roach. Big play by Roach.
We've talked all day about Kyle Bowler trying to get the ball upfield. Donnie Avery comes out, tries to get a block. Daniel Fells doesn't get the seal. Amendola gets the catch. Good recovery by the Bears defense there. We talked all day, though, about Kyle Bowler trying to get the ball upfield. They need to push the ball up the field on that play there. Tommy Harris put a lick on Bowler after just a 1-step drop. So that may be some of the reason why we're not seeing the Rams push the ball up the field. They can't protect him on a 1-step drop. How are they going to protect him on a 7-step drop? And
there's a stoppage of play, and talking about the linebackers.
Reset the game clock to 6:51.
Nick Roach, of course, Pisatino Isamoa, the former Ram, was placed on injured reserve this week. And the Bears signed Cato June. So the Rams are 1 for 11 in third down conversions, and they need a big chunk here, 9 yards. Bowler's pass swung out to Darby. And Darby is going to be stopped about 5 yards shy of the first down. Al Afalava making the key play there with 6.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. So it's 4th down. It's still a 1-score game. An 8-point game, and it's 4th down.
I think with the way that they've been converting third downs, or lack of converting third downs, the Rams have to punt it here. Hope Donnie Jones puts it inside the 10, which he's done a couple of times already today, and hopes the Rams defense gets a stop and gets them back good field position.
And Earl Bennett now goes back for the first time today to return the punt by Jones. Bennett fields it, bobbles it on the 4, and Kent trying to jar it loose, but Bennett has possession of the ball. 17-9, and the Bears leading, starting from the 3. Matt Forte, big run for Forte, close to the 20-yard line. Dahl from behind making the stop, and a gain of 14.
Great job by the offensive line, creating a hole. Garza comes pulling around. Forte sees that block, follows it up through the hole. The Rams are a little over-aggressive in their pursuit. Give Forte an opportunity to get to the second level and pick up a first down.
Longest run from scrimmage by the Bears. Gets them out of trouble. First down at the 18. Here's Forte again. And slowed up by James Butler, former Giant, who's had a big game defensively today. And a gain of 8 yards.
Chris Williams against Chris Long on this run play. Does a good job of getting into his body, sealing off. Gives Forte an opportunity to run up inside. Inopportune time for this Rams defense. They've done a good job of stuffing the run, pursuing to the ball. These last 2 plays, they've over-pursued and not made the arm tackles where Forte's been able to run through and get to that next level.
Justin King has gone in for Quincy Butler at cornerback. Second down and 2. Penalty marker.
Ball start, number 78. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And that's Kevin Schaefer, who started today at right tackle when Chris Williams was moved to left tackle for the injured Orlando Pace. So the 5-yard penalty.
And we talked about untimely penalties for the Rams when they had the ball. That's a tough penalty in this position of the field. You're set with a 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, and now all of a sudden you're bumped back to a longer down and distance. But you believe the Bears are going to run the ball again to keep this clock rolling.
Forte has gained 22 yards on the previous 2 plays, trying for more here with McKee blocking. Cuts back and is cut down by Justin King, who came into the game for Quincy Butler. No gain on the play. We wind down to 4 minutes remaining.
Chris Long should be going over and jumping up and down for Justin King making that tackle. He was over pursuing. He went too flat down the line of scrimmage. Gave him the opportunity to cut back on the play. Justin King was there to penetrate and make the tackle.
So at 3rd down, and is it a big 3rd down for the Rams defense here to try to get the ball back in a 1-score game. Here is Cutler, and the pass is out of bounds. Aroma Shadu made the grab, backing up, but could not get his feet in bounds. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Good job by Aroma Shadu to go up and get the ball at his highest point, try and get his feet down. Whether Quincy Butler was there or not,
could not get.
I still don't think he could have gotten his feet down.
No, couldn't get the right foot down, and he didn't even know where exactly it was, considering where the pass was. So 4th down, Brad Maynard kicking. Butler and Amendola are back deep. And a fair catch called for by Butler at the 45-yard line. Okay, quarterback Trent Green. This is an opportunity, good field position, and the Rams have had it all day against the Chicago Bears. They're down by 8 points, and time is starting to run out. We've seen what they've done on offense. Tell me what you think they'll do now.
Well, they've been very consistent running the ball. They've got to mix it up. 3.5 minutes to go. They need a touchdown with a 2-point conversion. This is your opportunity, and this is the field position. Run some play action. Try and get that big play up the field. You haven't been effective when trying to pound the ball, and you get to long down and distances. The Bears defense is dropping and rallying to make the tackles on those 3rd and longs. That's why they haven't been effective on 3rd down. They need to, at some point in time in this drive, get the ball up the field.
And as you pointed out, they have run the ball to Jackson on 1st down almost all the time. They're on the 45, their own 45. Kyle Boller will try to throw on 1st down, and his pass is intercepted by Hunter Hillenmeyer. And shaken up as Kyle Boller hit hard. And Hillenmeyer with the critical interception on the 40-yard line, giving the Bears the ball back. And that's what can happen when you try to do this on 1st down.
Well, I can hear everybody saying it now. That's why you don't throw the ball up the field. That's why you don't throw the ball up the field. Kyle Boller had some time in the pocket. There's actually good protection. Alex Barron ends up getting beat, and he's lucky he didn't get called for a holding call there. But he tries forcing the ball, Kyle Boller, in between 3 defenders. Because they've run the ball so many times to Steven Jackson on 1st down, I'd rather have seen him get in a conventional formation, run a play-action pass to Steven Jackson, make the Bears defense believe that's what they're going to do.
Hillenmeyer's first interception of the year, and now Matt Forte off the left side will want to stay in bounds, and he does so. He gets the 1st down as well. It'll be a 1st down for the Bears. on the Rams 48. Forte gets a couple. Rams are going to have to use all their timeouts now. That's their first. They have 2 left.
And talking to Kyle Boller before this game, he looks at this game not only as an opportunity to win a football game, he understands that's what his job is, but he signed, after last year spending IR, the season on IR with Baltimore, signing in St. Louis to come in and be the backup to Mark Bulger, get an opportunity to play, especially at this point in time of the year. This is really an audition for him, whether or not he stays with the St. Louis Rams to be the backup or be in contention for the starting job next year, or to audition for other teams around the league that could potentially look to sign him after the season.
Yes, it is an important time. Kyle Boller, who was the 19th overall pick in '03 by the Baltimore Ravens. 2nd down and 7. Here's Forte with the run, and the timeout should be upcoming. The second one by the Rams, leaving them with 1. Take a look at the playoff picture right now in the NFC. Saints, Vikings, Cowboys, and Cardinals are the respective division leaders. And coming into this weekend, the Eagles and the Packers would be the wild card team. Eagles are beating the Falcons. And the Saints are losing by 10 to the Washington Redskins, putting their 11-0 record in jeopardy. And the Giants, of course, a contender for the wild card. That's why that game with the Cowboys is so huge, coming up next on Fox. And that's the playoff picture. So Jason Campbell doing his best Drew Brees imitation today, with over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and no picks in that game.
Little hangover effect for the Saints after that New England win.
Yes, 3rd down and 5, and here's Forte going outside and put down by Ron Bartel. The ball is jarred loose, but down by contact was Forte. So it'll be 4th down, and the Rams with 1 timeout left and 2:16 on the clock. And they're going to run it to the 2-minute warning right now. So the Rams will have yet another chance. 2 minutes remaining in regulation. The Bears leading by 8 and punting, with Brad Maynard kicking to Danny Amendola. Amendola picks it up at the 10 and brings it out to the 23-yard line. The Redskins are beating the Saints by 10, and it appears, time permitting, that we will be able to send you for bonus coverage for the finish of that game. They still have plenty of time remaining in the 4th quarter of that game, so stay with us. Can the Redskins shock the Saints? There you see the yardage story in this game.
We're going to find out on this drive right here, Dick, if the Rams are going to shock the Bears, because they're down by 8 with under 2 minutes to go. No timeouts. Let's see if they can put a drive together.
1 timeout still for the Rams. And here's Kyle Boller underneath to Steven Jackson, who's tackled immediately. That's not going to get much done, and Donijay was there. As the clock continues to run, nearly a minute and a half to go. 5-yard pickup, 2nd and 5. Boller completes it to Donnie Avery, and Avery gets the first down to the 40, and they've got to hurry up and clock the ball as the time shows 1:20.
Good job by Donnie Avery on that one, finding the crease in between Tillman and Payne, and Kyle Boller putting it right in between the seam.
18 yards there, and this one incomplete to Amendola. Stops the clock at 1:10, and bringing up 2nd down and 10 for the Rams. Well, they certainly have improved, because they lost their first 7 games by an average of 22 points. They beat the Lions, but in their last 3 losses, it's been by an average of 8 points, and that's what they're down here by. So they're getting closer, but not getting the wins.
And a few weeks back, they had the New Orleans Saints right to the wire with a Hail Mary at the end to try and upset them.
Yes, and the Redskins may upset them today. We'll see. 2nd down and 10, Boller. And underneath to Steven Jackson, down at midfield. And the hurry up is in progress with under a minute remaining.
As much as you're trying to hurry up here, you have 3rd and 4. You need to pick up the first down to even have a chance.
And they got 2 downs to pick up the yardage. First down to Randy McMichael. And they got the ball at the 41-yard line. Still with 1 timeout left, but the clock is their enemy. Nearly a half a minute remaining. And they stop it at 33 seconds.
Good job by the Rams, moving the ball to get in position to score.
Look at that, 1 pass attempt for 20 or more yards today.
They haven't thrown the ball, and if you remember, that was early in the game. They did a fake off of a counter footwork to Steven Jackson. They threw the ball up the field, where Payne was able to dive in there and knock the ball away from Donnie Avery in the end zone, and that's really the only shot they've taken up the field.
With Jackson on the sidelines, Kenneth Darby is in there. And there's Kyle Boller, and Boller's deep pass, and it's broken up by Payne, intended for Donnie Avery. So Kevin Payne starting at strong safety. His 2nd start of the year, began the opening game, makes a big play.
You see Donnie Avery, the 2 receivers are too close together. Donnie Avery needs to get an outside release. If he's going to go inside like that, he needs to get back outside and get width to the boundary. So Kyle Boller has a place to put that ball to where 1 defender can't cover 2 receivers.
9 possessions in Bears territory, and the Rams only managed 3 field goals. Under a half a minute remaining. 3rd and 10. Boller throws it up for grabs, incomplete. On his way down, Alawali Ogunleye, who had a sack early in the game and then was shaken up, had to come out, coming in and putting the pressure on Boller, and it's 4th and 10.
Ogunleye does a good job once again on Adam Goldberg, working the corner, working the edge. Kyle Boller, as he's falling down, gets lucky. He throws this ball away, and Steven Jackson happens to be in the vicinity, so it's not intentional grounding. 4th down coming up.
And the clock and the 4th down. 2 things working against the Rams right now, who need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Here's the pass, and it's overthrown to Brandon Gibson, and the Bears will take over on downs and win the game. So the Bears having a close battle against the 1-10 St. Louis Rams today, but not giving up a touchdown, and a lot of that had to do with the offense generated by Steve Spagnuolo's team, Trent.
And once again, Steve Spagnuolo has kept this team in the game. He talked about the attitude. He talked about everybody staying focused and working hard, and I think we saw that from the Rams today. Their tempo, their approach. They came in with a good game plan defensively and did a good job of keeping the Bears offense at bay.
And we want to thank our producer, Pete Macheska, our director, Artie Kempner. And the Rams call their last timeout with 15 seconds remaining. So Lovie Smith said, look, what are we playing for? If we win the rest of our games, we end up 9-7. Coming up a big one here against Green Bay next week. Road games at Baltimore. Home with the Vikings and at Detroit. But the Bears started out with a win today.